What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Lesser Athletes. My name is Chadwell, and today, like always, another interesting video for you here on the channel. Today is my 2024 Bad Blood card predictions with only a month out. I am recording this right after Raw. I am literally recording, let me do a quick math here, 3 hours and 18 minutes after Raw. I got a little bit of an idea of potentially what Raw could be entitling to for Bad Blood. And you might be asking, Chadwell, I swear on your channel about a month ago, you had Bad Blood predictions. Why are you doing one again? Well, we now have exactly a month out. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. I was like, I'm missing something else I wanted to do for this video. We have a long, and I mean long time till, Bad Blood. I mean, this is a PLE that we have from August 31st all the way to October 6th. Or 31st? No, 30th. August 30th all the way to... No, 31st. All the way to October 6th. So it is a long kind of like 5 to 4 weeks here. So kind of interesting to predict what could happen because there's a lot of build-up potential for this. I mean, when you look at other PLEs, you can see from SummerSlam to Bash in Berlin already, from that, how long that was, not as long as this. Money in the Bank to SummerSlam isn't even as long as this. Clash, just, I mean, you can literally go on. The only thing that's definitely longer is the road to WrestleMania. I am invested in this, and there's a couple reasons why. Let's go into notable things. Number one, I've already done a prediction for this video. Some of these predictions might be the exact same, some might not be. We'll talk about that in here. Other one, I'm going to Bad Blood. I'm actually going to be there. I have a video, kind of vlog, kind of big video idea that I have in place to do at Bad Blood. I'm actually super excited to talk about it and really get into it. Make sure to look out on the channel for this. I think it's going to be really fun. I'm really excited about just putting it all together. It's something that I'm going to be very passionate about, and I cannot wait to kind of do in the future. Another thing I do want to talk about is this PLE, I feel like with a grand return, is going to be one of the better PLEs we see out this season. Looking from the start of 2020, I wouldn't say start, since WrestleMania. WrestleMania obviously is the biggest. After that, I feel like the next biggest is, of course, SummerSlam. I think Bad Blood could have contention to be this next biggest one, other than maybe a Money in the Bank or something like that. But Bad Blood, and this is me just being honest. This is me just looking at truthful things when I'm looking at this. This is a USA PLE, and they usually, when it comes to USA, they want to keep the great PLEs in the USA. That's why they said the big four of Survivor Series in North America, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, and SummerSlam are going to stay in North America. So I'm going to be talking about this. I think it's going to be very exciting. I think we're going to get like 6 matches. I could see them go for 7. I could see them go for 5 and look at quality over quantity. But let's get some things down and some things to just honestly just mention. Honorable mention, LA Knight versus Logan Paul. Now, I want to throw this on here because I thought there was a 100% chance LA Knight's going to be on this card. I am starting to feel like we're not going to see LA Knight. I don't think there's a place to see him. I don't think there's a person he's going to go against until someone confronts him to go against him at Bad Blood. Again, I'm recording this before SmackDown. I think Logan Paul could be that person. Recently, Logan Paul on his podcast, I'm pretty sure, I know the quote, talked about a rematch, talked about his next opponent he wants to go against is, again, a rematch on LA Knight. He deserves a rematch. He thinks it makes sense. And he talked about how technically in wrestling, he shouldn't have been counted to pin, which I was like, what are you talking about, bro? I saw the pin, your leg was not on a rope or anything. Technically, it was under the rope, which is technically a stoppage from the ref, and that is breaking up for the pin. So I do want to say Logan Paul technically has some power to talk about for this pin and to have a rematch. I would be interested to see if they would do this at Bad Blood. I'd be interested to see if they maybe do it somewhere else. Again, Logan Paul has a lot of pull in the USA. I could see Logan Paul doing this at Atlanta. I could also see this maybe happening at Royal Rumble. Maybe it's somewhere else. Maybe it's Survivor Series, whatever it might be. I could see it then. But I would be interested to see if LA Knight and Logan Paul is going to be a kind of feud that we see that maybe goes into Bad Blood. Because LA Knight's going to want to defend this championship a lot, in my opinion. Up next is another honorable mention, Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. It hurts me to say this 100%. But I am feeling less and less confident that we are going to see Finn Balor versus Damian Priest happen at Bad Blood. I think generally that we could see it. But the same thing that I'm thinking of is some quote that is sticking with me during this whole entire feud that we've seen is Finn Balor said to Damian Priest that when you least expect it, I'm going to come after you and I am going to be the one to stab you in the back. It's going to be a long time in a row. You're going to barely forget about me. And then all of a sudden I'm going to be there. It looks like they could try to, mesh this into together. They literally had a tag match today, but I'm starting to feel less and less and less confident about it. I'm starting to think maybe they'll try and do this at Survivor Series. Maybe they try and do this somewhere else. Bad Blood makes the most sense to me. I generally do think so. It would kind of be not. It wouldn't give this feud justice if you try and do this on Raw. In my opinion, I think this is a PLE type of feud. I think Finn Balor and Damian Priest would be interesting. I have the Demon here because I would want to see if maybe they would go the Demon route. I think what would actually happen is Damian Priest does need to win, in my opinion, but at the same time, that's what I was going to say. I was going to also make predictions for this video because I feel like if I already did the predictions from a month ago, let me give predictions. So Logan Paul and LA Knight's an honorable mention because I don't think it's going to happen. Finn Balor and Damian Priest could actually happen. If this would happen, I feel like Finn Balor might have to win because I know I just said Damian, but you got to give at least this new Judgment Day something, and underhand tactics would kind of create a rematch for Damian Priest to win next. But I do want to say that this is an honorable mention because I think there's matches that they're already hinting to that I cannot bat an eye away. Speaking of that, they are already hinting towards a Gunther versus Sami Zayn match, and it looks like it's going to be at Bad Blood. I am interested. Don't get me wrong. I'm interested. I am shocked this is happening this early. I thought this would be a match later on that actually had some, stakes where we actually thought, wow, is Sami Zayn really about to win this? Is Sami Zayn not to? I'm going to keep it 100 with you, Sami. There is no chance Gunther is going to lose against you, Sami, especially at Bad Blood this early. So I really want to see if they really do this match because Gunther is going to win it. It's just, are they going to pull the strings on Sami and Gunther to happen now? I just don't think we're going to see it. But if I don't think it makes a lot of sense to do it now. I think it should be later. But the fact that they're already kind of hinting towards it makes me believe that we could see it. And now we go into our actual card, starting with Nia Jax versus Bayley. So I think Nia Jax is going to have a match on this card. I was debating, honestly, if I would actually add her or put her on honorable mentions. But I'm starting to think that they are laying down the seeds of what I've been saying for a while, which is Tiffany Stratton is going to cash in at Bad Blood. I think with Bayley officially coming back, attacking Nia Jax, attacking, especially Tiffany Stratton, I think it's going to set up a rematch for Nia Jax and Bayley, and she's going to get her rematch at Bad Blood, which is going to create some tension with Tiffany Stratton. Stratton's going to start realizing that she doesn't need Nia Jax and she's going to win the championship off Nia Jax, and she's going to try and cash in. I think she is going to cash in. I don't think it's going to be a little fake out. Something that makes the most sense. Also, check out my video on this. I literally made a I made a Tiffany Stratton and what am I thinking of? Tiffany Stratton cash in. When will she cash in? I said Bad Blood was honestly the most likely. I could also see that they decide to do it at Royal Rumble or something like that. Bad Blood, in my opinion, is just the place where it makes the most sense to create this Bad Blood kind of feud. It goes into these two. She cashes in. She gets the win. She gets the championship, and then you build towards the Royal Rumble. You build towards the what am I blanking out on? Elimination Chamber, stuff like that. So then you can actually have the feud going crazy. I feel like you would have to have a cash in here, Royal Rumble, or what else am I thinking of? Survivor Series, Night of Champions, maybe, which is a big possibility that I could see, but I'd rather them do it somewhere else. Anyways, I do think that Nia Jax and Bayley warrants this. I think that SummerSlam was the biggest opportunity to do it, and I just don't think they wanted to have two women's Money in the Banks cashing in on SummerSlam, so it makes a lot of sense for them to do it here, and that's why I'm going to put them in the match. Honestly, strictly for Tiffany Stratton. Up next, we have Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker. They've kind of hinted it before. We finally see who's the final four to go against Braun Breaker for a match that I'm guessing is going to be at Bad Blood. Braun Breaker from Georgia. It makes a lot of sense for him to get a championship match there. The finalists are Pete Dunne, Ilya Dragunov, Jey Uso, and it looked like it was supposed to be Bronson Reed, but they switched to Braun Strowman after Bronson Reed got out of the match due to COVID. So I wonder if also that they might say, like, Bronson Reed destroys Braun Strowman, says, I should have been in that match, I'm going to insert myself into that match. I'm actually just saying this randomly because it's just something I just thought of off the top of my head. That would be very interesting if they would do something like that. Anyways, Jey Uso is going to probably win out of the 4. I actually wanted it to be Ilya Dragunov, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, because I think Ilya Dragunov and Braun Breaker actually has that bad blood. Ilya Dragunov got injured because of Braun Breaker and kind of wrote him off TV for a little bit. So it makes a lot of sense for it to be Braun Breaker, but they have done too much of this Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker kind of feud to it not be Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker, which rip Jey Uso, because Braun Breaker is 100% keeping this title. Now it just makes it interesting to see, is this how we get Jey Uso to lose to Braun Breaker by the bloodline to go into a Survivor Series bloodline war games? I think it is. I think that's why he's going to be the one to win this, and Braun Breaker is going to be the one to, or when I say win this, the Fatal 4-Way, Braun Breaker is going to win this matchup, but technically only win to underhand tactics, which I think is going to get him really pissed off. But I do think that this is going to be a good match. I'm happy to see them both going on a good PLE. It's going to be interesting to see what they do in their match, because I think it's going to be a pretty good match. Up next, we have Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan in a Hell in a Cell match. I predicted this a while ago. Same with actually Nia Jax. Let me talk about this quick. Nia Jax and Bayley, I said was going to be Nia Jax and Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair announced she's gonna not be back till November, so that's fine. Then I said Braun Breaker's probably gonna have a match. It's just against who? And then Jey Uso probably gonna have a match, but it's just against who? Well, more from it together. I also said Jey Uso could be a player to go against Braun Breaker. So yay on me, I guess, for that. But up next, also, Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. This was pretty obvious. I even said that we're going to probably see Rhea somehow go against Liv Morgan in this, and I think it's going to be a Hell in a Cell. I said that a while ago. I think a lot of people are saying that. I don't think that that's just a crazy thing to say. I hope to God it's that. I think it makes a lot of sense to be that. At the same time, though, who wins out of this match? That's the biggest thing that I think I don't know. I would rather say it makes 100% sense for Rhea to win, because if Rhea doesn't win, is she really warranted a rematch against Liv Morgan? I don't know. And that's the thing. They make Rhea look so dominant right now, but at the same time, they aren't making Liv look that good. So Liv winning would actually probably put them on scale with each other. So that's the only thing I'm thinking. I'm thinking also Liv would probably win from underhand tactics. I think Liv Morgan's reign shouldn't end here. There's just a lot of things I'm thinking about when it comes down to this, and I think a Hell in a Cell match is very warranted, though, for this match. Up next, we have Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa. It makes me want to cry myself to sleep to say Cody Rhodes and Solo Sikoa is going to happen at Bad Blood. In my opinion, I thought it was going to be Roman versus Solo, but I don't think we're going to get that, which does hurt me in some sense, because I thought that was the way we got to Survivor Series, where we had Bloodline War Games. Cody Rhodes and Solo Sikoa does make sense, in the sense if you're thinking Cody maybe getting himself involved in Bloodline War Games, maybe he is the guy that it's going to be Roman, Jimmy, Jay, probably Sammy, I would assume. Maybe that's why Sammy's on this card and he gets messed up with the bloodline, and this whole Bloodline messes with most of the matches, creates a narrative for Survivor Series. Bad Blood, the bad bloodline. Hold up now. Anyways, I generally do believe that Cody Rhodes could be the 5th out of them for Survivor Series, which is crazy enough to say that he joins the good bloodline, but maybe it's also The Rock at the end of the day. I don't know what it is. If this match is main eventing, then we 100% know that there's going to be some craziness. If this match is not main eventing, then there might be a little craziness, not something too crazy, because I do think another match is warranted to be the main event of this match. But I truthfully just want to say that I did not expect this match to happen at Bad Blood. What a way WWE just throws a curveball into my ideal fantasy card of Bad Blood. Up next, we have CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. I think this is the last one on this card, because this is going to be probably the main event. I know Punk did not want to go against Drew McIntyre set his eyes on Gunther, said it after beating Drew McIntyre, then decided to, say it on Raw. And Drew McIntyre destroys CM Punk, makes him bloody, breaks the bracelet. I mean, a lot of stuff, which I would be 100% shocked if CM Punk is not coming back and just comes back to, comes back last second, 2 weeks before, a week before Bad Blood, and says, I want you, Drew, at Hell in a Cell, just me and you, just something like that. I think it makes a lot of sense. I'm excited. I can already tell he's going to maybe say Hell froze over, or he might say, I'm going to put you through Hell and back. I'm calling it now. CM Punk is going to be just coming back, screw over Drew McIntyre, maybe in some type of other side feud Drew might have before this. I'm excited to see what could happen. I think this warrants, truthfully, the final part of this. And I am also going to say, I guess with the previous one too, Cody's going to win. I have said I kind of want Drew to win, so then CM Punk can kind of go on to something. And I think Drew makes a lot of sense. But I also think that Punk makes a lot of sense if you want him to look strong. And so then he can have better feuds in the future while Drew McIntyre still is Drew McIntyre at the end of the day. I did want, in some capacity, maybe Drew gets screwed over Drew wins because Punk gets screwed over by Seth Rollins, and then you see him moving over to Seth Rollins or something like that. But I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be Punk versus Drew, and then maybe Punk wins and then starts actually going against Seth Rollins. We'll have to see. I'm very interested, but that is going to be it for here. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.